Welcome back. In today's video, we will see how we can create our first floor plan in Revit. So to start with, let's see the project information. So our project name should be Institute Building. Next, our project unit should be in metric units, that is in millimeters. Next, we need to have number of levels as 2, namely ground floor, which is at 0 millimeter, and then roof, which is at 3000 millimeter. Wall type which we are going to use to create our floor plan should be basic wall, which should be 200 millimeter in thickness. So let's switch to Revit and start with our project. So to start with, let's go to new and select architectural template and then click OK. And let's see the units. So for units, you can type UN in the keyboard, or else you can go to manage and then under settings option you can go to project units and you can check the units. Next, let's go and check the elevation. So let's go to south elevation, and here we will see we already have 2 levels present. So in our case we need to have 2 levels. Level 1, which should be renamed as ground, and then level number 2, which should be renamed as roof level. Height of roof level should be 3000 millimeter. Now once done, let's switch to ground floor plan to start creating our floor plan. So let's go to ground floor plan. Next, let's switch to the floor plan which we need to create. So in this PDF you will see this is the floor plan which we have to start with. So to start with, as we know, the thickness of the basic wall should be 200 millimeter. So let's go and select architecture tab, click on wall architectural, and then right now I will select basic wall generic 200 millimeter. Next, in this case I'm not going to use any grids for the reference purpose. So we will learn how we can create a floor plan without using any grids. Now, before we start creating the wall, first of all we need to set the height of our wall. So here the height is right now unconnected, so let me go and set it to roof level. Now once this is done, now let's come back to the floor plan. So now what I'm going to do, I'm roughly going to draw this outer edge of the floor plan. If you see our floor plan, the width is around 17.5 meter or 17,500 millimeter, and height, if you calculate, it will come almost like 19,000 millimeter or 19 meter. So what we need to do is, the best way is to start with, we can start creating it a rough design of this particular outside external walls. So let's go back, and now here, as you will see, we start from the bottom. So let's create. So as you can see, it's something called 17,500 millimeter. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll shift my wall a bit here. I'm repeating again, we are not using any grids or any reference point. Now next, let's go to wall again and then start creating a wall. So it's roughly it is 20 something. Then if you go to the upper region, you will find there is a little bit of indent here in the wall. So let's go back, and then almost something like this I will create, and then I'm going to close my walls. Now the next step we are going to do is we will do the dimensioning. So now I would like to set up the dimension. So to make a fixed dimension, I'm going to start with this 17,500 millimeter dimension. So go back. To do the start with the dimensioning, let's go to modify and then click on align. And now zoom it. Now you can see it by itself, it is taking the wall center line as the reference point. We don't want the wall center line as the reference point. As you can see here, it is being dimensioned from the wall face. So for that, we go here and then just hover over one of the face and press tab, click, and then I'll go to the other face and then press tab and click. So now you can see it is almost 17,300, which should be 17,500. So now what I'm going to do, I will select one of the wall face, and then what happens, the moment you select one of the wall, this permanent dimension will temporarily convert into a temporary dimension, and it will allow you to change its position. So now I click on this and then type the correct value. So now you can see we already fixed our width of the floor plan. Next, I'm going to set this particular dimension here. So right now here it is 4,000 from inside face to inside face. So let's go to align dimension again, click on one of the face, press tab, select the other face by pressing tab, and then let's click here. Do the same thing on the other side. Now let's select, now I would like to change this to 4,000. So 2,800 should become 4,000. So let me select this wall element and then click on this dimension and make it 4,000. Similar way, I can select this and then make it 4,000. Next, let's go and create some internal walls. So to create the internal walls, I'll start from the bottom. So let's create this wall first. So let's go to wall and then draw an internal wall here, and then after this let's go and create some. Now if you see, there is a straight vertical wall coming from this part to the end. So I'll do the same thing. I'll click here and then I'll go straight down. Similarly, I will do the same thing here and let it join be to this point. Next, let's add some horizontal walls. So I will add one wall from this location anywhere to up to here. So we can select wall and randomly I can add it somewhere here. Next, add another internal wall. All right. Now for the office, we will make it somewhere here. Now at this point, we will just take a pause and put the dimensions. So the first dimension, now this time I will start dimensioning it from the bottom. The first dimension should be from inside face to inside face, it should be 8,900. So let's go to modify, select the align dimension, zoom a bit here and then press tab and put here. Now let's go back and put another dimension. So it should be 4,800. Do the same step, press tab, again tab and then click. Now the dimension with a value of 6,050. So we'll just put the dimension and then the one of the last dimension, press tab again, one click here and then that's it. Now once this is done, we will start changing the dimensions to their correct values. So we'll start from the top. So this dimension here should be 7,350. So let's zoom it, select to change this dimension. As it is linked with this particular horizontal wall, we select this wall element and then change it to 7,350. Next, we'll change the other one to 6,050. So let's select the other wall and then make it 6,050. Next, we need to change this wall to 4,800. So let's select this one and make it 4,800. And the last one, which is right now 1,500, we will change it to 8,900. So let's select it and make it 8,900. Now, in order to make my floor plan fit in the entire window, what I will do, I will hide this elevation point. So for this, we can type VG for visibility graphics, go to annotation categories and then select elevation and then apply and then OK. And then you can press tab. Next. So our left side part is done. Let's switch to the internal part. So now this time I'm going to create my office. So let's set the dimension for the office. So the office is 4.45 meter by 4.45 meter. So what we will do, we'll select align dimension. The dimension given is from face to face. So next we'll press tab for selecting one face and then tab again for the another face. Do the same thing for the other dimension. Once done, let's change their value. So this should become 4450, and similar way select the other element and change its value to 4450. Let me drag this dimension a bit inside for a proper view. Next I'm going to create these two classrooms. So for that I'm going to add a horizontal wall here. So let's select architecture, wall, and then a horizontal wall here, and then a wall from in the center, and let's set up the dimension. So this wall should be, first of all, this horizontal wall should be 3400 from this face. So for this we go to modify again, align dimension, press tab and then select the other face, and it's exactly 3400. Next let's change the dimension of the class. So the length is 5150 and the width, you can see it is already 4450. So let's go and change this. So let me put a dimension for the width. So it's already 4450. Let's see it here. It's 4450. For the height, for the length, sorry, we just click here and then change the value to 5150. So select and change it to 5150 mm. So now you can see this area has also been created. Now let's switch to the right side. On the right side we have we have one manager office and then some toilet, canteen, and the office. So to start with, let me create some walls here. So let's go to architecture tab, click on wall, and then let's create this walls randomly. So let me draw it here somewhere, and then let's join it something like this. All right, and then again let me go here and it should be joined up to somewhere here. And for this part it will be like a closed region. So all right, so I will add one wall here randomly, and then we'll add one wall inside somewhat like this, and then in between. So let me change the value. Okay, we will put the dimensions and then we'll see what are the changes required. So let's start putting the dimensions. So we'll start putting the dimensions from this point. So first is from this inside face to this inside face. So select modify, align dimension, zoom, press tab, and then click again. Next put another dimension 1350. So let's put a dimension here, and then another one which corresponds to 1100. Let's put a press tab and put somewhere here. Then one more dimension, and next the last one which should correspond to canteen. So let's go back and then click. Now once done, what we will do is we'll start creating we'll start correcting the dimension. So first one is 5350. So let me go and select this wall element and change it to 5350. Next we'll change it to 1350. Next is 1100 and 1100. So let's select and change it, and similarly for this one 1100, and the last one should be 1000. So let's select and change it to 1000. Now we'll come down and put a wall for our Alright, so we have one dimension remaining, that is the length of this particular wall. So starting from here up to here, so we can see it is around 2600 from face to face. So let's go to modify again, align, and then press tab to select this face, and it's up to the outer face. So select this one, and then let's change its value to 2600. Alright, so once it is done, we can see if I guess there is little bit one dimension is missing here. So for a while we will keep this dimension as 2600 only, because you can see there is no dimensions available. Okay, so next we will add another horizontal wall to create this office. So let's go to architecture tab, click wall, and then add another wall, and the dimension for this should be 4 meter by 4.1 meter. So first of all we'll set up 2 dimensions here. So let's go to modify, align dimensions, so from one face to second face here, and then from another face here to this face, and let's set its correct value. So now this should be 4100. To correct this one, we'll select this wall element and then click on this dimension. Next, you can see automatically it adjusted. So now as you can see, the wall part of our floor plan is ready. So this is the way. Okay, I guess we can cross verify this dimensions also. So let's go and check. So it should be from this face to this face, it should be 4000, which is right. Then from this face to this face, it should be 9000. So I guess, yeah, it's 9100, it's correct. And then go from this face to this face, it should be 4000. So this is how we can create a floor plan by a random way, and then we can add some random dimensions, and then we can correct the dimensions to get our correct floor plan with the proper dimensions. So thank you very much. So in the coming videos we will see how we can add doors and windows to this particular floor plan. Thank you.